Okay, so folks are starting to come in.
Great.
Good morning. For those that are on, it's not that early. It's 11. I was like, it's so early. I'm like, well, maybe it might be early for a Saturday. um, so let's see. Of course, we have an active chat for those that are on. Say hello. Tell us where you're zooming in from. Or not. Of course, this is all being recorded. We have Maylene with us. Hello, hello.
Hi, Maylene. Devin.
Oh, Devin, traveling at the moment in Chattanooga. Wow, cool.
Right.
Thanks for joining. That's a potential Ellies Teacher Travel Grant going in Tennessee. Maybe Devin got a head start on this one.
Right? He knows he's going to get the Ellies.
Yeah, he already has a plan. All right, who's here? Who else is here? Oh, always. I like that. Always. All right. Just wait a couple more minutes. We'll start at 11:05.
Okay. And that's what it's about, being positive, right?
Yes.
Writing and thinking it, you're going to get it.
What is it? If there's a will, there's a way.
Always.
Always, yes. All right.
I open my chat.
Alina, I feel like you're gonna do like an Zoom workshop behind us after this whole session with all the fabrics.
These are all the things I bought.
Oh, that's so fun.
Right? I
Oh
bought
man, I can't wait.
fabrics, yarn. Well, I'm doing a workshop in the summer, so I had to get ready.
Wow, I can't wait.
Bring back materials for that.
I'm more excited to hear about what you bought in your trip.
There really wasn't enough time to go shopping, so I can put one on just for fun.
Oh my goodness, that's so great.
Everything they do is so perfect.
Is that an alpaca?
It's an alpaca. Everything they make
Oh,
is made out of alpaca.
so fantastic. All right, so it's 11:05. We're gonna get started. This is being recorded. So for those that are tuning in live or those that are tuning in later, this is the Ellies info session, specifically targeting the teacher travel grant. I am here. Oh, before I even get there, my name is Esther Park, and I'm the Vice President of Programming at Oolite Arts. And I am joined by the amazing Alina Rodriguez, who literally just got back from her recent Teacher Travel Grant Award travels to Peru. So we're super excited to have her with us. She's going to talk about her trip as well as kind of explain and give you tips on what a successful winning application might look like. So before we get to Alina, which I'm very excited to hear all of her travels, a little quick thing about the Ellies. So the Ellies is our Miami Visual Arts Award. So this is our 5th year. I can't believe it's been 5 years doing the Ellies. Isn't it crazy? I feel like it just started. Anyways, we are super excited. This is a annual visual arts award where we hand out up to $500,000 into Miami artists and for them to essentially extend their practice, further their practice, and really just uplift the Miami Arts ecosystem. And so a couple really amazing Ellies winner projects that we wanted to share. Right now, you're looking at the 2020 winner, Barbara Fernandez. This slide is entitled A Growing Transparency. It's a sound, art, and light projection installation at the Deering Estate. So beautiful. Next, we have 2020 winner, Mark Floridor. This is a site-specific mural presented in part by Fringe Projects entitled Public Color, which is still up now if you would like to see it. Another 2020 winner, Clara Veras. We supported her solo exhibition Day In, Day Out at Spinello Projects. And then finally, wanted to share the 2019 winner, Neil Bordeaux. We gave him funding to do a comic arts journal entitled For Spiny Orb Weaver. So again, really amazing. The breadth and talent of our Miami artist community is so wide. And so we're super excited for all of these projects. So the Ellies, very important slide. All you have to remember, May 16th, that's it. That is the due date. We have, I guess tomorrow's May 1st. So you have 16 days, which in artist time, that's like 16 years. So that's like, you have a long time to go. But long story short, you have up to May 16th to apply. Fun fact, this application is free. So there are no submission fee and you could apply as many times as you want. Granted, we don't want 200 applications from one artist. We want the best ideas, but if you have really great ideas and you have more than one, go ahead and apply. This is the matriarch. This is the goddess. This is Ellie Schneiderman. This is the woman that created Art Center South Florida. And of course, we are so lucky to have her vision and forthright to have essentially created Art Center, which is now Oolite Arts. And this award is in honor of her, named after her. Was unfortunate, she passed in 2020. And so again, we're just honoring her legacy and we just can't say enough about the blessings she has given to the Miami arts community. So thank you, Ellie. And of course, I love this photo. This is the old Lincoln Road. That is the old art center. I can't believe it. If you look at Lincoln Road now, it's completely different. But again, Ellie Schneiderman had the vision to really create what we see now as the Miami art scene. So kudos to Ellie and to everyone that really supported all the artists in our board that really just propelled Art Center to what it is today. Okay, so the info session. There are 4 categories. Again, this is for teacher travel only, but I will quickly go through the 4 categories. The first one is the Creator Award. And so that is essentially for individual working visual artists in Miami-Dade County. So you must be a Miami-Dade resident. That is me, for those that are wondering. And I am not an artist. I am a proud arts administrator, but I am lucky to work with amazing artists. So the Creator Award, again, is for working visual artists in Dade County. The Teacher Travel Grant, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But again, this is for working art teachers in Miami-Dade County. And again, we will go deep into what that process looks like. And these are some of our award winners. So yes, we have, I think that's Justin Long.
Lourdes.
Help me out. Lourdes.
Feliciano and Juanita, I forget her last name.
Yes. Amazing art teachers with their proud awards. So these are our awesome art teachers. The Michael Richards Award, again, in honor of the lasting legacy of the brilliant artist Michael Richards, who had a studio back in the late 90s at Art Center. He unfortunately passed in the towers during 9/11, but he was quite, just ahead of his time as an artist. And we honor this award. It is a grant that is given. It's by nomination only for artists that have been a lasting kind of figurehead leader in the arts community. And so we give this award every year to some of the best. I mean, we've given it to Edouard Duval-Carrier, Karen Reifus, and so we're super excited to continue this award. And then finally, we have the fourth category, which is the Ellies Social Justice Award. And that is also by nomination. And these are artists who are working in activism. We're super excited that last year we were able to award this to Lonnie Johnson, who is a longtime arts educator, amazing arts activist, and also an amazing visual artist. So she's a triple threat. And so we're, again, super excited to give this award. This is also by nomination. Okay, so that's pretty much the 4 categories. Again, Creators Award, pretty straightforward. I know a lot of our teachers are artists, so we encourage you to apply to both if you do have a thriving practice and you do have a project that you're working on as a practicing visual artist. So you could apply as well. And of course, if you are a teacher, which is what the session is focused on, yeah, apply as well for that. Super straightforward. It's 300 words, which is a blessing and a curse, right, Alina?
Yes.
300 words, you're like, oh, that's it, 300 words. And you're like, wait a minute. That's actually kind of complicated to impact as much information and enthusiasm and inspiration in 300 words or less. But, as they say, it's really about the meat and potatoes for that. And of course, your CV. So really straightforward, super simple with the application. All right, next steps. Before we go into Q&A, and of course, we have a chat for those that are logging in live, please submit. For those that are watching this, you could just email your questions to info@theellies.org, and someone will get back to you as soon as possible with your questions. We also have some info, some what we call open office hours. So you can go onto our website, www.theellies.org, to find out when those open office hours are. You could sign up, you could talk to myself or Amanda Bradley, who oversees our Ellies, and just sign up for 15 minutes, 10 minutes, kind of go over your application. We're super happy to do that. All right, so again, all you have to learn, May 16th, that's all that matters. The one big takeaway, if you have any takeaway, May 16th, because we're very strict on deadline. So May 16th is the due date. All right, Alina, take it away.
All right.
I'm so excited for this. I'm gonna mute myself, but if I have any cheers and oohs and ahs, I'll unmute, but I'm gonna mute myself.
So first of all, I was lucky enough to meet the Ellie back in 2019 when I got a Creator Award with Aurora Molina, who's a fiber artist. I'm a curriculum support specialist for Miami-Dade County Public Schools, if you don't know me. I traveled to Guatemala in 2020, well, actually 2019, the end of 2019. I got the second Ellies, the Teacher Travel Award in 2020. Again, thank you, Oolite, to travel to Peru. And my trip was wonderful, but I know exactly what you're looking for. You don't want to hear so much about my trip as much as you want to hear about how to write an Ellies. Before I got the first Creator Award, I had no idea how to write a grant. It's really hard to put words into 300 words and write everything that's on your mind and blow away the readers. So the first thing you got to think about is who's reading your grant? Okay, in my case, right? I want to travel to Peru. I'm a textile artist, so I wanted to work with fabrics. So first of all, you have to think of what you're interested in. Where do you want to travel? What do you want to learn? What do you want to take back to your classroom? Okay, so I'm going to start with the first paragraph of my grant and how I wrote it, and that I think that's going to help me more. And I'll tell you a story. I'll weave in the story of where I went in Peru and how I traveled, but I'll also help you in writing your own grant. Okay, so my grant was to travel for an artist residency to a program in Peru to explore local textiles and multicultural approaches in education. However, if you write it that way, um, when the judges are reading your grant, they're looking for something exciting. So you don't want to start like that. You want to start with something exciting. So think of that first sentence as your catch all. Okay, so start with that. If you want to go to the next slide, if you have another slide. Okay, so start with catching their attention. They're reading 500 applications, hopefully, right? So you want to be the one to stand out. Okay, so again, where are you going? I want to go to Peru, but why do I want to go to Peru? I want to go to Peru for a specific purpose, to learn about textiles. Now, Peru is known for their textiles. I traveled in my residency to various places, but I traveled mainly to Chinchero. Chinchero is the textile community in Peru where they have hundreds of weavers. And there I worked with some of the oldest weavers, and you see some of them in this picture. And there's another picture with the younger weavers. But these are the oldest weavers, and they've been weaving since they were 7 years old. Now, as a textile artist, I'm not a weaver, but I'm learning from those traditions and I'm bringing that back to my classroom. I don't really teach in the classroom anymore, but I do work with teachers. So what I'm doing this summer, and you're invited to come, in June and July, I will be teaching textile workshops, and I brought back with me a lot of the materials that the artists in Cusco and Peru and Chincheros use to dye their fabrics. So for example, there's a little bug called cochinilla, which is a little bug that when you push it in, it turns into red dye. So I'm using that in my textile workshop this summer. You can go to the next picture so I can show you the younger. Okay, no, this is actually the sister of the director of the Center for Traditional Textiles. If any of you are interested in doing textiles in Peru, I have the itinerary for you. I have everything ready. You don't have to do just textiles. You could do ceramics. They're well known for their ceramics, for their metalwork, but mainly for weaving and textiles. So this is Miss Kayanaupa. This is the sister of the director. I'm going to show you a picture of the director. I think next is the next image. Okay, that's not yet. This is one of the instructors. Now, the instructors range from age 20 to 28. They're very young, but again, they started weaving at the age of 5. So by the time they're 28 or 27, I think this young girl was 27 years old, and she was teaching me how to create what is called a backstrap weaving. They use a method where they attach a string to their waist, and then they attach the other end to a tree. So they weave, and it's a very simple method. When I went to Guatemala, it's a different type of weaving. Let me show you. This is also backstrap weaving. I dropped it off. This is also backstrap weaving. I don't know if you can see it, but it's very difficult. The technique in Guatemala was very difficult. I'm going to show you some of the samples of the work that they do using backstrap weaving. They make bags, they make rugs, they make all sorts of things. You can go ahead and go to the next one. This one I found much simpler than the technique in Guatemala. Again, this is the young weaver. And I want to show you the next image. Oh, this is Machu Picchu, of course. If you're traveling to a exotic place like Peru, you're not going to miss Machu Picchu. So, of course, as part of my trip, I traveled to Machu Picchu. But I learned some things in Machu Picchu. um, that it was a religious center, but it was also a teaching center. So I don't think I added a picture of this, but they have these rooms where they had classrooms for elementary students and classrooms for high school students. And they had a window where the student will stick their head in, and then the teacher will stand on a platform behind them, and it would echo into that hole or that window so they could listen. It was really wonderful. So go ahead next. So that had a lot to do with education. Again, this is the Center for Textiles. En español es Centro de Textiles Tradicionales del Cusco, which is a center that helps out 800 weavers throughout Peru. And the director, Nilda, I can never say her name, Nilda Cayanauba, she was the first woman and the first person in the village to actually go to university. So as a weaver, she's now she travels to the Smithsonian, and she teaches conferences and other universities throughout the country, throughout America. So she was thinking, oh, am I going to stay in Cusco, or am I going to go to America? She decided to stay in Cusco, and instead started this center to help out all the weavers. And the weavers not only work in the center, but they also have, I don't know if there's a picture, next picture, I can show you where the museum is. Here it is. Great. Perfect. They also have us in Cusco, in the middle of the city, they have a museum where they sell all the goods by the weavers. They're not cheap because it takes about 8 months. I don't know, from depending on the complexity of the piece, it takes anywhere from 3 to 8 months to create one piece. So they're not cheap. So I was not able to buy any of those expensive pieces. I did buy some other kinds of cheaper fabric that I could, show as an example, but I couldn't afford an $800 weaving. So let's go to the next one. I think I have a picture of, while I was in Peru, I was able to visit Pinta Faire, which is, actually we have Pinta Faire here in Miami, but they were hosting a show of textiles, of contemporary textiles. So that was great for us. I went on my trip with 4 other artists, or 3 other artists who are textile artists. Here's Aurora Molina with the yellow polka dot. She's the one that started all this thing with textiles. I've been an artist all my life, but I didn't know I was a textile artist until I sort of met Aurora. So, all right. So now to go back, let's go to the next picture. And then I want to go back to how I wrote. Oh, this is just a picture of me in Machu Picchu with 2 of the artists. Next one. Oh, this is me having fun. In Lima, they have a Christ just like the one they have in Brazil. So you go up a mountain, and then you get there. Okay, so next. So now is when I want to start telling you a little bit about how I wrote my grant. Okay, so I'm going to start reading the sentences one by one. Okay, so number 1, if you want to take notes, you don't have to take notes. Where do you want to go? Okay, so this is how I wrote it. Center for Traditional Textile is an artist in residence program to Peru that offers professional opportunities for art teachers and art museum educators interested in developing educational projects and methods for the classroom or the museum setting. So the first sentence for my proposal was concise, right? And it sort of told everything that I want to do, but not quite. Okay. The center just opened its unique residency program in Peru to promote social transformation and understanding of culture. Again, I'm adding a little bit to the sentence now, explaining why I'm going there. I'm not just going there to visit, but I'm going there to learn a concept, a method, something. So bring in the meat as you develop that second sentence. The residency will serve to help me keep on exploring textiles as part of my professional, educational, and artistic endeavors. So not only am I doing this as an instructor to bring back the knowledge, but I'm also enriching my own career, my own practice as an artist, okay? So remember, the judges are reading all of this, and they're just capturing This is not the best proposal I've ever written. I've written other proposals that are a little more spicy, but I think this is more like a scientific writing. So if you're gonna write this, think of this. It's a mixture of scientific writing, if you understand scientific writing, and creative writing. You don't want it to be too creative, because if you're too creative, sometimes it loses meaning. So it's a mixture of those, both of those things. Okay. The residency will serve to have. Okay, I already said that. Da, 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 da. Okay, so now I tell them a little bit of about me. Okay, so I went on to say, last summer on a trip to Shela, Guatemala, I started learning about backstrap loom during a short residency with artisans from Trama Textiles. Traditional backstrap weaving is practiced in many parts of the world, like China, Japan, Mexico, and Bolivia. Okay, so now again, I'm giving more information on why, and a little bit of background about what I do. So let's say you're a photographer and you want to go, I don't know, where do you want to go? To New York. You don't have to travel around the world. You don't have to go to Peru. You don't have to go to Europe. You can travel to New York. You can travel around the US. Right now, from my experience, in Peru, you still have to wear 2 masks. You have to get COVID tests. So if I was writing a grant right now, I would travel within the United States, where I don't have to be wearing a mask, and I don't have to be taking COVID tests. It's very hard. Again, um, so again, I keep on giving more information. This is 300 words. So what I usually do is this: I write my proposal on a Word document, and then I bring it to, I don't know if you're familiar with Grammarly. Grammarly is wonderful. It's a free program. You can download it to Google or whatever platform you use, and it corrects the spelling for you. If you're missing a comma, a period, whatever, it fixes it for you. Okay. So once I finish writing at a Word, I bring it into Grammarly. Okay. Now, okay. So again, the last sentence, the last paragraph. The 2-week Peruvian residency includes mentoring and instruction on backstrap weaving techniques, embroidery, and iconography of textiles. Now I write what I'm doing there, accommodation, or how I'm sort of weaving how I'm going to pay for this, okay, without really saying it costs this much, okay, so just be creative. Accommodation, meals, workspace, materials, airport, and transportation are included. The residency is an integral program that provides individuals with additional museum, curatorial, and personalized guidance on all aspects of Andean textile and culture. Okay, now the last paragraph is as important as the first paragraph, and they always have to sort of match. Okay, because this is the last thing they're gonna read on your proposal, and this is what's going to stay in their mind. Remember, they're going to read it and then they're going to go on to the next essay. If your proposal, if that last paragraph is not exciting, it's not going to excite them either, and you won't get the Ellies. So listen. So traveling to Peru to study Peruvian textiles will catapult my artistic practice as well as my professional career as an art and museum educator. I want to extend my knowledge of textile techniques that are rapidly disappearing in the warp of history. In this context, I hope to learn natural pigment dyeing, embroidery, and weaving developed by Peruvians with their unsurpassed traditions. So here I was able to be a little more, use more creative writing, but still get my point across. So that's pretty much how I wrote my Ellies, Esther, and everyone present. Do you have any questions on how you would write your Ellies? No? No questions?
Well, I have a quick question. What was the curriculum that you brought or you
Okay.
are planning to bring back?
Okay, so when I traveled to Guatemala, I started a curriculum on Mesoamerica, on backstrap weaving. Backstrap weaving has been practiced not only in Peru and Guatemala, but in China and other parts of the world. So while I was in Peru, I purchased all these wonderful books by Nilda. Nilda's also an author. Um, And here I'm going to add now all this information into my curriculum. And this curriculum is going to be available next school year. We have a new system called Schoology, where the teachers can actually download lesson plans. And once I create all these lessons, they will be uploaded on Schoology, and teachers can download, use the curriculum. It will have vocabulary, videos, music, of course, techniques on how to backstrap weaving, how to backstrap weave, how to dye natural fabrics using natural plants. That's something we can do here in Miami, even though we don't have the same plants that they do in Peru, but we still have, we can use beans to dye fabrics. We can use grapes, so we can use vegetables from the refrigerator to actually dye natural fabrics. Again, you were asking if they use natural yarns. That's what they use. I purchased some because they're very, very expensive. Even though Peru, everything in Peru is very inexpensive, but the alpaca is expensive because it's a whole process to create this little yarn. First, and that's one thing I learned at the center is they actually demonstrate how to create the yarn, and it's a huge process that takes weeks. You know, from shearing the animals, getting the the fiber, to putting this, turning it into actual yarn. And this is a spinner. This is what they use to spin the yarn on. I don't even know how to do that, but yeah, it's very complicated. Even though you can't do this in the classroom, you can teach weaving with paper for the little ones. You can do weaving with regular yarn. You don't need alpaca to weave. And making the loom is very simple. So, and I'll have all those techniques in video form. I took a lot of videos while they were demonstrating, so that will be part of the curriculum.
Very
Any
exciting.
Yes. And I mean, I want to tell you all about my trip, but I think from their point of view that they want to learn how to write a grant, that it's so simple. If you know it's a formula. It's a formula of why, where, and just putting that together and putting it in a form that is easy to read, but it's also exciting to read and not boring.
Yeah.
So that's major. And thank God, after the Ellies, I've written other grants, other proposals, and I have gotten at least 5 grants because I sort of learned the formula. It took me 20 years to learn a formula.
Wow.
You know? So
We have a question here from Devin regarding, is film one of the disciplines accepted for this grant? So yes, film is a discipline accepted in the creators. And in regards to the actual teachers, that would be if you were a film teacher, it will be kind of in the similar vein. But again, the teacher is really for travel. It's not really about furthering anyone's practice. It's really a travel grant. And then we have another question. Eduardo is asking, would this grant be for this summer of 2022? Yes. In fact, now that travel has opened, yes. I know a lot of folks who won this grant in years past have gotten extension for their grant because, of course, some wanted to go to Japan. Japan's not open. Other wanted to go to Thailand. Again, not open. So, but yes, it is available for, wait, I actually, no, I'm sorry. This grant would be available for summer 2023. Remember, you're awarded in the fall of 2022. Sorry, I read that wrong. So it's not for this upcoming summer. That's too soon. So it would be available for 2023. Sorry about that. I don't even know what year it is. What year is it?
You give us a year to complete
Yes.
whatever activity we're going to. Right. For me, since I received this award during the middle of the pandemic, it took me 2 years to actually travel.
Right.
Travel restrictions.
Right.
But now it's all open.
Yeah. Any other questions for our live participants? And again, this is being recorded. We will be posting this up on our YouTube for those that do have questions. Maybe specifically for Alina. Alina, would you mind if we could forward your email or?
Not at all. You can reach me at Alina Rodriguez at dateschools.net. Last year, I helped some of the people that were writing their grants. Just giving them suggestions on how to write it. I sort of got the hang of it.
You're like the expert Ellies winner writer.
No, it's just okay. Like Devin said, it's all about positivity. If you're writing this grant in your mind, you already want it, you will win. But if you write a grant and you're hesitant or thinking, "Oh, I'm not gonna get this," you will not get it. Any grant, right? It's all about how you feel and also writing from the heart. If you're writing an Ellies or any grant or any proposal and you're writing about something that you really feel strongly about, it comes across to the judges. I was a judge last year, and I was sort of disappointed at some of the proposals. For example, one proposal was, I want to go to, I'm going to say New York. I want to go to New York to see whatever. You have to give more information than that. You're not just traveling for leisure. You're traveling to learn and bring back whatever you learn into your classroom. Right. So again, for me, since I'm not teaching all the time, I am a museum educator, so I do teach at the museum sites. So I do bring all those things to the students, but I don't have a classroom per se. But I do work with all 500 teachers, so I'm able to deliver all this curriculum that I have to write anyway.
Yeah.
So they're able to use it in their classroom. I've had 2 years to learn all about Peru before I traveled, so it was great. So yes, again, writing from the heart and not just making something up just because you want to win an Ellies or
Right.
right.
We have a couple more questions here. Okay, Eduardo asked, does it have to be a formal residency program such as the one Alina attended, or can we devise our own itinerary? Alina, you want to take that?
No. Some of the winners, for example, I think Lourdes Fuller went to Spain. She already went. She went last year. And she studied ceramics and Talavera, right, from Spain. And then she came back and she had a workshop, actually a couple of weeks ago. She had a workshop for the teachers. She has a classroom, so she was teaching ceramics all year long to the students. So no, it does not, you come up with your own idea. It's just you're traveling and then you're either creating a curriculum that you're going to teach in your classroom or something like that. But you don't have to follow what I did. I did this because I won the first Ellies with Aurora Molina, and that was our proposal to travel and then work with kids. We did work with kids from Guatemala at the time. And I'm going to write another grant, Esther, not for the Ellies, because, I don't want to win every time. But I do want to write now another grant to work with students here in Miami, recreating some of these weavings and so forth, and with Aurora and some of the artists that went with me. So yes, no, you do not have to follow what I did. Again,
Yeah.
you said you're a video artist?
No, that was Devin. Devin was asking about film.
Yeah. Yeah, we do have a film. We do have film programs here in Miami, and we have many film teachers. So I can definitely write something related to that. Definitely.
Yeah. And then of course, Devin asked how many grants are awarded. So traditionally we were award 3. But sometimes if the application pool is really strong and we've gotten some really great strong applicants, we go up to 5. And I don't know if this was mentioned, but the teacher travel grant is $5,000. So that grant is all in. That includes travel, your accommodation expenses, your food. So for $5,000, I mean, you can go to Peru. So there's that too. So hopefully that will kind of shape the application. So okay, great.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Again, for those that want to follow along and ask questions after the fact, watching this on our YouTube, you could email us at info@theellies.org. And yeah,
Can I add one more thing about the process? For example, once I went on my trip last night, I just turned in my final report. It's a very simple narrative, and that's all you need to do. Simple narrative with an Excel form stating how much I spent and so forth. So it's just writing the grant and then finalizing once you travel. And it's very simple, guys. Very, very simple. I encourage all of you to write a grant. Don't write 200. Write 2 good ones and then turn the best one in. So that's my advice to you.
one last question. Malin is asking, can 2 artists submit together? No, this is for individual artists. Now you could submit, this is going for creators project. Again, like for teachers, it's pretty straightforward. It's 1 teacher per grant. For the creators, however, of course, a lot of folks, do, group projects, but there's always a lead. There has to be a lead artist that will kind of like direct the project. So it's really for individual artists. All right. Thank you, Devin. Yes, he's great. He's like, thank you. Well, great to meet you when I win the award. I love that. I love that enthusiasm. Yes, definitely. We'll meet you when you win the award. So yeah, I guess we're good. I mean, if anyone else has some last minute questions, of course, you could always reach us on our website. Alina, if you want to send your email address out again for those that can write it down. Yeah.
Again, it's Alina Rodriguez, my full name, at dateschools.net. That's
Perfect.
dateschools.net. Okay. And I'm available anytime. There you go.
Thank you so much. You're now you came back from the mountains of Peru, in this mystical, magical land, surrounded by shamans, and now you come back to Miami as the Ellies shaman. So you have all of the magic.
Back to Miami. Miami is the best.
Yeah.
I love Miami.
You have all of the magic of how to win an Ellie. So yes, Alina, if you have any questions,
I'm gonna give you my energy, everyone.
Yes, she's a shaman, the Ellies shaman. All right. Well, thank you for all those that logged in, and for those that are watching. May 16th, very, very important. May 16th is the due date for all your applications. So please submit and good luck. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you. And we will see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.